Today's guest is Professor Pierce. Professor Pierce is a professor of practice in the Department of Marketing. He joined ASU in 2016 and has taught courses on strategic marketing management, fan behavior and sports marketing, business of esports, product and service innovation, and sports marketing campaigns. Outside of teaching, he's the co-founder and managing partner of Player 2, a consulting firm dedicated to the video game and esports space. Before coming to ASU, Professor Pierce had over 25 years of experience leading marketing for major brands such as the Arizona Coyotes, the U.S. Olympic Committee, and the Walt Disney Company. We're so excited to be sitting down with Professor Pierce today. Let's get into the episode. Today's sponsor is Broke Bites. This is a message from their team. Love to eat, college budget, limited cooking skills? No problem. Broke Bites is part cookbook, part community, built by students for students. We share affordable, easy-to-follow recipes and the fundamentals of cooking all in one place. So you're not just following recipes, you're actually learning how to cook. Beyond the food, Broke Bites is a space to connect with other students who are figuring it out too, swapping tips, making copycat recipes from your favorite local restaurants, and growing together in college. Follow @BrokeBitesOfficial on Instagram for updates and join our growing community of fellow foodies and cooks in training. Okay. We're so excited to be joined with Professor Pierce today. Thank you for coming on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So first off, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be a professor at ASU.
Well, I started teaching here at ASU in 2016, and I had just moved here 2 years beforehand from Colorado, and I was working at the Arizona Coyotes, and I joined the board. I was invited to join the Sports Business Advisory Board here as kind of like a representative from the Coyotes. And when I got here, Alana Cutts, who runs that board and runs like the sports business clubs, noticed that I had taught previously at the University of Denver when I lived in Colorado, and asked me if I'd be open to exploring being a faculty associate. And I said yes, because it was actually kind of a long-term dream of mine to teach. I just wasn't expecting it to happen that soon. So that's how I got started here, and it's been, honestly, I feel very grateful to be part of this community and have the opportunity to teach here.
So when did you start teaching at University of Denver?
So I did one semester there in like 2010. Okay. It's a really crazy story. I worked at the U.S. Olympic Committee, and I had a really good friend who I was in marketing, he was in communications, and we were sitting at an airport in like New York City waiting for a flight, and we were just having a beer talking, and he's like, well, like what other things do you like? And I said, well, I really kind of want to teach. When I did my MBA, after I finished it at Pepperdine, I like guest lectured a lot, and I was like, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, that's cool. And then like that was the end of the conversation. And like 2 years later, he called me. He had left the Olympic Committee and went to the University of Denver to work. And he called me one day and he's like, hey, remember that conversation we had in the airport about you teaching? And I was like, vaguely.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, how do you feel about teaching? And I was like, I'm interested. And he goes, can you start in 2 weeks?
Oh my gosh.
And I said, what do you mean start in 2 weeks? And he's like, yeah, the guy who was teaching our MBA level sports and entertainment class just took another job at a different university, and we're stuck. And I was like, well, can I have his curriculum at least? And he's like, yeah, no, he took it with him. We don't have it. Okay. I was like, what? So you want me to start in 2 weeks and write a curriculum? I go, I don't even know what a curriculum is. Yeah. Like, I've never done one before. And he's like, yeah, I mean, we can help you a little bit. And then I was like, okay, but as it turns out, my neighbor in Colorado Springs was the dean of the business school at Colorado State Pueblo. And so I saw him that very night, and I was like, hey, like, what do you think? He's like, well, I can knock that out with you. So we literally the next day, he helped me write the whole thing.
Oh, that's great.
And I started, and I loved it. I don't know how good I was, but I really liked it. But it was really difficult with my travel schedule because my boss was in New York City,
Okay.
And we had an office in New York, so I was traveling every week to New York and trying to get back in time to teach. And my boss at the time made it like crystal clear that this wasn't going to work for me. Teaching was not for me while I had this job. So I stopped teaching until I got here.
Nice.
Where I had more control over my schedule.
Yeah. So did you always have an interest in sports? I know you mentioned working for the Olympics. Did that start there? Or was that something you always knew you wanted to go into?
I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do when I was, so I went to Florida State University for my undergraduate. And I changed majors 3 times. Like, I had no idea what job I would want, just like a lot of people. And I had a teacher who was in the communications, like we took a marketing communications class. And she pulled me aside one day. She's like, "Hey, can I talk to you after class?" And I was like, I thought I was in trouble or something. Yeah. And she's like, "Hey, I noticed that you write pretty well. How do you feel about like interning, helping my boyfriend?" I was like, "Your boyfriend?" And because she was like a TA. And turns out her boyfriend worked in the athletic department at Florida State. And she's like, "I never get to see him because baseball and basketball overlap. And he needs someone to help him with baseball." And I was like, "Okay." So I went to see this guy. His name was Bob Berta. And I said, we were talking, and I go, "That's it? You just want me to write the announcements that the public address announcer reads in between innings?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What's the catch?" He goes, "Oh, the catch is you're not going to get paid." I'm like, "Okay, do I get food at least?" He's like, "Yeah, all you can eat." You can eat hot dogs.
That's a good trade-off.
So I did that, and then like 2 weeks later, like I was so dumb, like I just looked at him. I go, "Is this your job? Do you get paid to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Boop!" Light bulb went off.
Yeah.
And then I applied to all the sports teams that in the cities that I would want to live in, and I got ended up going to work for the Atlanta Braves out of school because all my buddies from Florida State moved to Atlanta. And that way I could hang out with them longer.
That's fun. That's fun. So what courses do you teach at ASU?
So I've taught a bunch of different classes, but currently, so for the last 7 years, I've been teaching the business of esports and video games, which is my favorite topic. It aligns with my business. But since 2022, I've been teaching Marketing 302, which is the first marketing class that marketing majors take, and that's where we met. And this semester, I've started teaching that 302, but also Marketing 303, which is the honors version of it for all WP Carey Barrett students. So it includes not just marketing majors, but supply chain, accounting, finance, etc.
Okay, nice. Can you tell us a little bit more about your business?
Yes, I started a business called Player 2. It's a marketing agency that connects brands with video game developers and content creators like streamers and influencers. We started it almost 10 years ago. A guy who I used to work with, so I spent 6 years at Disney, and when I was there, I worked a lot with the ESPN division, and a friend of mine who ran strategic planning at ESPN reached out and was like, "Hey, I want to start an agency in video games. What do you think?" And I just left the Coyotes. And I was like, "Yeah, good luck. Like, I play video games, but like, I don't know anything about the business of it." And he said, "You should join me." So I thought about it and I started like just for a couple of months. And I loved it. And 10 years later, we were helping all kinds of brands, nonprofits, IP owners. If you ever see like Hello Kitty in a video game, we put her there.
That's very cool.
If you see Paddington Bear in Roblox, we put him there.
Very cool.
Really fun things like that.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Is there a specific project that you've worked on or a career success that you're the most proud of?
The thing that I'm most proud of, I don't want to say proud, it's not really the right word. The thing I'm most grateful for is that I got to spend a day with Maya Angelou, the poet. So when I was with the U.S. Olympic Committee, we did a lot of brand, like I was in charge of all the brand work. So we did a big brand piece about what it means to be an Olympian and a Paralympian. And so we wrote this thing that between us and our ad agency, we were really proud of. Like, I was really proud of it. And then somehow, through a friend of a friend, it ended up with Maya Angelou. And she took it and like crumpled it up in a ball, threw it away, and rewrote it herself. So ours was called Amazing Awaits. That was the name of it. And it was this big, long, like, manifesto. And she took it, threw it away, and then took out a yellow legal pad and from scratch wrote something called Amazement Awaits, which is actually way better. Just the title was way better, but then the words were like 1,000 times better. And then we were like, whoa, it got back to us somehow.
Yeah.
And then we asked if we could film her reading it. And she said yes. So we went to her home in New York City and filmed her reading it. And the funniest was that two things were funny. She came down, she had an oxygen tank, came down the stairs, took the oxygen off, and like was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And it was on a teleprompter, but she already knew it. So she read it one time straight through. And the producer who was with me was like, hey, that was amazing. Like, that was a great take. But could we get a backup, a safety? Could you read it again? There's a backup. And she's like, no. She's like, we all know I just nailed it.
Yeah. She's like, one and done.
One and done. I'm one and done.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we sat in her, like, in her kitchen, around her big red kitchen table, where she had a big, like, painting of a caged bird, because that was her favorite, where the caged bird sings. Yeah. And we talked for like 2 hours.
That's so cool.
That was the best day of work I ever had, and like the almost unrivaled day. I'll never ever forget that.
That's really cool.
So
I remember you showing us that in class too.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that. Not that I had anything to do with it, just that I was there as a fly on the wall.
Just happy to be there.
Yeah.
So outside of academia and video games and sports, what are some of your hobbies and interests?
So I like to play golf. My son just moved back here. He's 27. He moved back to Scottsdale a year ago. So I play with him a lot, which is great. And I like to read a lot. So those are probably the two main hobbies. And then my wife and I try to go on a walk almost every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's super fun. And where were you from originally?
So I grew up in New Jersey.
Okay.
I don't have a thick accent because both my folks were from Miami.
Okay.
So we didn't really speak Jersey in the home.
Okay.
But yeah, I grew up all the way from first grade all the way through high school in New Jersey, and then I've moved around a lot since then. Florida, Georgia, back to Florida, California, Colorado, and here.
Nice. Did you have a favorite place?
Everywhere. I know it's a weird answer, but I kind of, my wife's a military brat, and then I moved around a lot. We've moved around a lot as a family, and just kind of wherever we are is where home is.
Yeah, that's great. So now getting into some more course and education-based questions. Okay. What do you believe is your teaching philosophy, and how would you describe your teaching style?
I don't know. I don't think you might answer this question better than me, but my philosophy is at the courses that I'm teaching, I'm not teaching people how to split an atom or anything. So I feel like I've been successful if I inspire students to want to continue to learn more. If I inspire students by my example to continue to be curious about the world around them and about their degree program. I think that as a student, if you've chosen to come to ASU, which is a huge university, my philosophy is that I don't want students to feel like that they don't matter.
Yeah.
I work really hard to memorize names, to treat people individually with respect and to help out anybody who asks me for help. And then my teaching philosophy is that I teach to learn, and I teach because it's fun. And I think it should be, there's serious topics we talk about in class, but I want it to be a fun environment. I want students to want to come to class because they think that they're learning something and they're entertained, not in the like traditional sense of being entertained, but they feel like you have lots of choices as a student on how you want to spend your time, and I want students to choose to come to class because they feel like it's worth their time.
Yeah, definitely. When I was thinking back to your class, one of the biggest things that we did was the brand extension project. Mm-hmm. And something that I remembered was that you had a group a few years before who did Dunkin' and got recognized by Dunkin'. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if you could talk about that and like your idea behind the amount of group work too in your class and the importance of that to you.
Yeah. So the reason that we have a group project, so all of the 302 and 303 mm-hmm. classes have the same group project, mm-hmm. and all of your other marketing classes have group projects too, because no matter where you go to work, you're working with groups.
Yeah.
So the idea is that, hey, while you're in college, you should learn how group dynamics mm-hmm. work. So the idea for the group project is this. Actually, originally was not a brand extension. Originally, it was an audit, and then kind of a study of their of the 4 Ps for them. And then the first semester I taught 302, mm-hmm. a student group was like one of the students said, "Hey, we were talking about brand extension." She's like, "The second part's kind of boring. What if we did a brand extension instead?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't commit to it like right then and there, but I went home and thought about it. And I was like, she's kind of right. Yeah. So we changed it on the fly.
Wow. And
now all of the 302 and 303 groups do the same brand extension for part 2 mm-hmm. from one student who recommended it. But yeah, the idea is to, at the 302, 303 level where you're just learning, is to take everything you've learned so far and put it in practice. And the Dunkin' thing was just a great example of, like, I encourage the students to be proud of what they did, post it on LinkedIn or some other platform with some commentary. Yeah. And they did like photos and screen grabs of the presentation.
It was a vending machine. Right?
Yeah, it was for Dunkin'. It was they said, let's do at universities, like, bus stations, airports, like a Dunkin' vending machine where you could get, fresh donuts and coffee drinks. And it was the first where AI tools had just come out, like the early image generation ones. And they used a bunch of those, which I had encouraged them to use, to show what it would look like. And they posted on LinkedIn, and all I did, so they posted on their own, and then I just shared it, like reposted it, but I copied the senior execs at Dunkin', who I didn't know, but I was just like, you should see this. Yeah. And they responded to the students and invited them out to the Dunkin' Donuts here on, I think it's on Broadway or University, I don't remember which one. And like they took pictures of them there. They had them work there for the afternoon, and they gave them tickets to, like, Dunkin' is a sponsor of the Savannah Banana, so they gave them like great seats to that event.
It's so cool.
And I've had other students do it as well, like post, and not everyone, I don't think anybody's had that level of response. Yeah. But I see students posting them more as a way to help them, like, get internships and to
Our
show.
Group posted it, I remember too.
Yeah.
We did Spotify, but it was super cool.
Yeah, and I think if you're proud of if you take pride in your work, then you're more likely to post it, which then you're more likely to get results from.
Yeah. Definitely. How do you think that students can get the most out of your class, and what knowledge and skills do you want them to walk away from your course or your courses with?
Okay, so how can they get the most out of class? Coming to class, for sure. Not out of duty, but because they want to learn. Yeah. And they want to be vulnerable about what they know and don't know. Mm-hmm. Also by participating, and sometimes students don't want to participate verbally, which I totally understand, but by being prepared for class. And like sometimes students who don't want to talk in class will email me afterwards or message me and say, hey, could you explain this more? Or I just had a student yesterday message me, like, student who really never talks in class, but like messaged me like, hey, there's we were talking about the Claude commercials during the Super Bowl, and she was like, hey, this reminds me of an episode of Black Mirror that was similar. Mm-hmm. And I was like, cool, I downloaded it, I'm going to watch it next week. So
yeah, that's really cool.
So I don't know, I think being prepared, and then I honestly I hope that students, the outcome of the class is they decide I'm all in as a marketing major and a marketing career because I'm excited about it, or like this isn't for me. Like I want to pursue something else.
And that's important to figure out.
Right. Both are amazing outcomes.
Yeah, definitely. How did you decide to intersect your interests of sports and video games with marketing, both in your career and in teaching?
Well, so I was really concerned about entering the video game industry because I didn't grow up in that industry, and I was in my mid 40s when I entered it. So I was like, oh gosh, people are going to think I'm a carpetbagger, that I don't I'm just trying to make a buck or whatever. So I took a lot of time to learn the industry and to just ask people questions genuinely. I'll never forget the first meeting I had was at Red Bull Media House.
Okay.
And gosh, I had come from another meeting and I was way overdressed. I literally was in a sports coat, a Navy sports coat and a button down. And we got there and everybody was in T-shirts and jeans and shorts. It was a Friday afternoon in Santa Monica. The guy we met with was wearing a Pikachu T-shirt. They were playing beer pong on the tables behind us. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so overdressed. And I was older too, which I was self-conscious about. And they looked at me and they were like, what's the deal?
What are you here for?
Who invited Dad, So but I learned a lot in that meeting. I learned that they had a huge budget against video gaming and esports. They showed us all their data around the age demographics, how these are hard to reach people who don't watch traditional television, not watching Sports Center or anything like that. And then I was I was all in, and I was able to take the ribbing in a fun way. And when a couple years later, I saw the guy again in the Pikachu shirt. And I saw him at an event, and thanked him for that meeting. I said it really turned things around for me. And he goes, I like the way you're dressed. Because I was dressed way more casual.
That's funny. What is your best advice for students to get the most out of their college experience?
Honestly, to lighten up. Just have fun. And take what you're doing seriously, but don't take yourself seriously. It's going to work out. You're going to get a great job. You're going to have an amazing career. And even if your first job isn't your dream job, your second job might be, or your third job might be. But just enjoy the experience and invest in it instead of worrying about what's next the entire 4 years of school.
Yeah.
I guess I would boil it down to be present. For whatever you're doing, wherever you are. I heard some great job advice recently that I shared with my daughter who's 21. I was she just graduated, and the advice was no matter what you're doing, if you're a freshman in college, be an amazing freshman.
Yeah.
If you're working in the mailroom at an ad agency, be the best mailroom person ever. Hit it out of the park with whatever you're doing, and don't worry about what's next. Because what's next will take care of itself.
Yeah, you can't worry about that now.
I just see a lot of students worried and anxious. And it really, I go home and I tell my wife about it. I'm like, gosh, I see so many students with anxiety. Yeah. And maybe I was that way too, probably. But I think try, easier said than done, obviously, but try to just be present and enjoy where you are and let the future be the future.
Yeah. Is your daughter in marketing too?
She's not.
Really?
She's not. None of my kids are. My oldest is a mechanical engineer.
Wow.
My middle son is supply chain manager at Amazon. And my daughter's a math major.
Wow.
And a French minor.
Wow.
Who is working in the music industry.
Oh,
on the tour side. Yeah.
Very cool. So all over the board.
All over the board. None of the acorns fell next to the tree, so.
That's okay. That happens. What are the most important skills to be a successful marketer?
There's only one skill required, and it's to be curious. You know that.
Yeah.
There's only one skill required, and that's to be curious, because curiosity leads to all the other, in my opinion, leads to all the other skills and interests. If you're not curious, then you don't work hard. You take things for granted. You don't study. You just rely on your own knowledge. But if you're curious, every day, everything you see is like, wow, how does that work? Like I literally, when I was walking to school this morning from my car, I saw people like getting ready to sample like an energy drink.
Yeah.
So I stopped. Thank God my daughter wasn't with me. She would have kicked me. But I was like, so like, hey, can I ask you guys a question? Like, what does success look like for you today? Like, what's a successful day for you? Like sampling this product. And like, honestly, we want to make sure that we distribute every single can. That's how we know we're successful. We have to bring stuff back. We didn't have success. I was like, cool. I learned something.
Yeah.
That I didn't already
Smart.
know.
Yeah, that's smart. So now to wrap everything up, what is the most rewarding part of being a WP Carey professor?
You know what? I was surprised that, because it's so big, like our business school, WP Carey Business School is bigger than like the whole university. Like we have 23 or 24,000 students here.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge business school. And what I'm surprised at that I like the best is that like professors, staff, administrators, like people actually care about what happens to the students. So like we're doing education at scale, but but caring. And that's what I love the best about it, is that it doesn't feel like a diploma mill. It feels like people actually like care about outcomes.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like I feel that from a student perspective too. I think
That's great that you do, because I see it and I was like, how does that happen at scale? But it just everybody like does their part.
Yeah, ASU like feels like such a big school, but I feel like it feels so much smaller like once you find your little pathways in it.
So that's what I think is the most rewarding. To be part of that, you know, is really rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Well, now we're going to go into some rapid fire questions just to end it off.
All right.
So we'll just get started. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Window or aisle seat?
Aisle.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Same. We're both cat people.
Well, I'm a dog person, but we have cats at home.
So you have to say cats.
I don't have to say cats. It's just that I grew up with a dog, and we'd love a dog, but we travel too much to have a dog. So cats.
Okay. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hot dogs.
Ice cream in a cup or in a cone?
Cone.
Talk or listen?
Listen.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
History or science?
History.
Podcasts or books?
Books.
And then last one's kind of a tough one. Video games or sports?
Both.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Good. Thank you for having me as part of this.
Of course. We're so excited to be growing the Prof-ile podcast. Please leave a comment down below if you have any professors that you'd love for us to interview next.